Good morning, people. All right, well, I come back and my calls ended up running like an entire another 100 and something% from the point I sold. Trying to figure out what I said I was still bullish for it to continue, but whatever. Anyways, this is bullish here. It looks like every dip is being bought up. I can enter longs here. Um, I'm actually considering it. Oh my gosh, the market is moving, guys, so much. That's a big trade to take. I think I may take a stab at it though. It doesn't look bad. There is kind of a bottom trend line on NQ that I wanted to break. Um, it's not breaking it, but that's actually a kind of a nice entry. I'm willing to take a shot at that. And then I guess PT would just be gap fill, but I mean it's a 2.3 risk to award, which is a pretty big risk to award. Um, a second to set up shop here. I did take it. I'll give it a small chance. Savage, how do you guys end up doing this morning? You guys catch this move? Kind of came out of nowhere. Um, I was in. I entered calls right here, looking for a bounce. I did get it. It was up like 20%. Um, but I was looking for the falling wedge break. Ended up stopping out here. After adding my second half, I did only enter a half size just for it to. Would have been nice if it exploded up a little bit earlier because then I wouldn't have sold and I would have had a good average as well, better average. But that's the way it goes, I guess. Demand was absolutely magical on ES though. And yeah, I mean, aside from this, I'm actually gonna move my stop up just a little bit more. It's at 16. Market's moving a lot though, so be careful. Size down if need be. Let me actually switch that MNQ before I forget. But we have gaps overhead on bulls for him to fill. The problem is though, this is kind of a rising wedge, which is what makes this risky. Is the rising wedge. Um, Wish I had a better average, but I do not. And here's the possible rising wedge on ES. I don't really foresee it playing out. I'm thinking if we pull back, um, I'm thinking it's more so going to be like a temporary pullback. Because this was a really nice trend line and it swept it and then invalidated super bullishly, which is why I gave this a chance. That could be double fake prophecy on ES. Because that top trend line is a really nice trend line, except it broke here. And then this would be the fake to the downside. I could see that as a possibility. Got burned on QQQ. Were you in puts, Nader? Nice job, JC. Actually, I'll be right back, guys. I gotta grab my journal. It looks like I'm gonna stop out of this first one. Looks like that was just kind of a fake pump. And at my stop loss, it's actually an okay short. It's just the trend is so strong. I was really thinking shorts on this red candle. I'm glad I didn't, obviously, um, because I wanted the trend line to break. But watching that last dip got bought up, that was so bullish here. But it turning around again, it did put in this evening doji star here. We might finally get a trend line break to the downside. Now, I'm not really looking to enter short though. I'll be looking to re-enter longs if it does something like this. It's kind of what I'm looking for it to do. And we'll have a nice triangle set up. Way over on. Give me a second. I gotta fill my stuff out. I'm gonna be quiet for a bit. All right, now I'm ready. So, I mean, if this goes back up, I can hop back in. Just the PT's really far away. Yeah, this drop is so aggressive, kind of like the last one. If it invalidates, I'm gonna hop back in, whichever's stronger, really. I'm really just gonna go for the NQ gap fill still. The thing is, though, be careful. Size down if you need to. These losses are, I mean, if I enter here, the PT is 400 ticks, over 100 points away, and the stop loss, like the best I can do, is 41-ish points away. So very big trades. Good stuff. Great stop loss though on that last one. Yeah, I hope so too, Esky. Well, it looks like I didn't really. I mean, what I missed during the second hour. Um, I missed out on. I would have lost on this. I would have lost on longs on this candle. All right, this is a long entry. Nice bull flag. Would have lost. Possibly could have made it back up here with a PT at high of day, but would I really have sold at high of day with this gap? Probably not. Um, for me, it looks like it was pretty good that I missed this second hour. Going into third, I don't think I would have made anything during this. I think I would just be red. This looks like bearish consolidation at the moment, but if we do go back up, this is a pretty big green flag. How many shorts are kind of pressing into this? That's going to be a lot to squeeze out. I mean, really, all I can do is just try to take longs and hope it works out. You know, we swept lower lows, looks pretty decent now. Here are the overhead trend lines that I would be looking to break. you know, and it's kind of tough. You could just put your price target at high of day, but the fundamentals are fairly bullshit. In fact, that's a long trade right there. Um, Here's the thing: you could enter longs here if you want to, but with how big the losses are, I don't want to enter low probability trades. So I don't want to take any reversal trades unless we not only sweep this low here on NQ, but we sweep this one and we put in a reversal candle on that. That's a reversal trade I take. In fact, shorts actually look kind of good here at the moment. Not taking them though; they're against my bias. Because I was in longs here, Alex. I stopped out. Alex, I stopped out right here. And the trend is not favoring a short trade for a trend line break. I mean, if you entered shorts any of these times, you lost money. That is bearish consolidation right there. That's not a bad short trade. In fact, I am actually very confirmed into shorts. If this candle closes just like this, I'm gonna have to take a stab at shorts. Again, all these trades are gonna have to be crazy risk to reward. This one's not too bad. Depending on how the close, and if the candle closes just like this, thing is ES is making lower lows with buying wicks though. Nah, never mind. I think I'm gonna send it out, guys. You can take it if the candle closes right. It's not closing right, but I don't want to get I don't want to get baited into a bunch of trades while it's in this range. Because if I stop out, I'm gonna be looking to go long again. There's too many potential losses on the table. But that is bearish consolidation. Man, that's a bearish candle, guys. I'm gonna have to enter that on NQ. Yeah, that's clear bearish consolidation. I kind of had to take entry there. I have to. You know, take it if you want. I am very much so confirmed in on this candle here. I don't really want to take trades, but if this trade works out and I don't take it, when I go back to review later today, I look like a dumbass for not taking it. That's a trade I always take. And if I lose money on it, it doesn't really matter. It's a trade I always take. Not like in this candle though. This candle's what you don't want. Yeah, if you're not in this trade, I'd wait. Don't get in unless this bounce invalidates. Because it looks like it just perfectly baited me in. But I have to get into that trade. Pretty much no matter what. High doubts that that green candle is going to invalidate, but if it does, it's really it's up to you. I mean, everything's just kind of risky. I I doubt that that green candle is going to invalidate though. Because there's just a lot of shorts in right now. I'm thinking we could see the big squeeze to the upside. It's gonna be very unfortunate if it just swept my stop. Not re-entering if it comes back down. Too much risk. Damn, it looks good though. You can enter it if you want. It does look pretty good. I'm not willing to lose again on the setup. I'd rather wait than just dip by it if it sweeps my PT. Well, I wouldn't even be able to get in because of 10-second rule, but ideally this is your entry here. Same entry I had, and this is pretty much your PT. The stop loss. Again, pretty nice restore. That's a bearish candle open. See if it continues to its bottom trend line. Wait, why this trend line jacked up? Why is this like this? Never mind, that's not a valid trend line. Ryan, I'm looking at ES and NQ. Sorry, I'm like, I got this acai bowl that I'm like eating at the same time. So I keep muting my mic. Your trade that could be confirmed into, but like this trade was very confirmed here. I mean, you had nice buying wicks, you had them invalidate, you had the higher highs here. Very nice for bearish continuation, but the fact that it did invalidate again and sweep my stop, and now it's chopping downwards, I can't enter short anymore. This is set up for a short squeeze to the upside. Now I can't enter longs either because it's not high enough probability. Now this is a long entry here. That is indeed a long entry. But do I really want to take a bunch of trades in this tiny range? Not high enough odds, but damn, it looks okay for longs. Type in chat, what do you guys think? It looks, yep. Well, here's the 10-second rule. I ain't getting it. And here's the problem though. I'm gonna enter longs up here. Roughly up here. And this is gonna be the trade. PT is gonna be 34. Yeah, that's gonna be something. However, if it does come back down, you could enter shorts, but I'm not because it's made lower lows. If it didn't make lower lows right there, I'd still be watching shorts, but that's off the table. some good price action to avoid because that was a potential long trade there. I stayed out because it's chopping too much. Still too high of a risk to stop out. Had to take that first trade with the gap overhead, the wait and validate that huge red candle. Second trade was a very good one too. But now that the market's, sticking inside this range, now I have to wait for it to change before I get in. But I do like that, again, it swept the higher high. It looks good for a drop because of that, but it also swept lower lows as well. So because it's made lower lows, I have to assume it could easily make a lower low, another one, and then bounce and stop me out. My PT would be too far. This is pretty bullish though, because see how it keeps dropping, but it's invalidating those drops. This is setting up for a short squeeze. I would love to enter. This is actually a broadening bottom because it's making higher highs and lower lows, which is a bullish reversal pattern. But I gotta wait for it to get all the way up here. This is my entry area. Worst case scenario, yeah, it could come up and sweep me and enter, but again, with this gap overhead and the way it's kind of bullishly consolidating, kind of hard not to be in. The thing I have, the issue I have is the risk to reward. I mean, if we really zoom out, do I really think it's going to do this and not something like this? I don't know. For this trade specifically, the risk to reward is going to be about 2.4 if the NQ gap fills. The MNQ gap's a little different, but the NQ gap is 534 is where it ends. I mean, it filled most of the gap already. With the way it's moving and how hard it moved up, I don't think it's crazy to think that the gap it could easily continue to fill. It's like we have a lot more bulls in chat than bears. I agree. I'm feeling that way. Now that it's made the lower lows and with it invalidating, like this candle's very bullish here. This candle is bullish if it closes that way. It's not closing that way. I mean, this could turn something into like a bear flag. The reason I'm entering all the way up here is because I like to, if it gets all the way up here, it's not a bear flag anymore, right? If it ends up coming back down, it's not a bear flag, right? The idea is not only does it invalidate most of the drop, how much of the drop is this? It should be like 60-ish%. Yeah, not only am I getting in more than 60% of it's invalidated, but this range right here, that's like a pretty confirmed range break. It's reasonable to assume that the likelihood of it just going right back down or continuing to chop is going to be fairly low. Because in order to get here, it's going to have to completely break out of this. See, now I'm getting bear pennant vibes on NQ because it made that higher low. Yuki says, I think we fill gap before we head down to 233. A gap fill will be pretty cool. Problem is, I'm already down 2 trades. If the gap fails, it'll flip me green on the day, but not by a ton. But I mean, this is pretty risky because like if we just stay in a range the entire hour that I'm here, it's gonna be red. I didn't realize this was a gorgeous trend line on NQ. I'm bearish for this trend line to break. If it sweeps a higher high then comes back down, I'm in. And shit, that kind of messes with. All right, we need this trend line to break before I enter longs. If I enter longs while this trend line's intact, that's going to be conflicting analysis, which is going to give it a reason to stop out. Probably still going to enter because I can't knock it in. But we'll see. If we can get a higher high then come down, I would love to enter short. Entering short now isn't a terrible idea for the trend to break. But like I said, I'm unwilling to just keep entering trades in this tiny range. But this trend line, right, this bottom trend line, it's got to go. That is way too perfect. This is good. This is good. Sweep that higher high, then come down. It did not. It swept a. Okay. It swept a small higher high. I can't get in though because ES only has lower highs still. I cannot get in shorts. I was really hoping ES would just get one like this. I mean, it has one higher high. But this channel on ES is far too risky for me. But if this green candle validates, shorts look very plausible. But I will not enter. Ryan, do not trade NDX, dude. NDX is bad. Trade QQQ. All right. The higher high has been swept. But it looks like it's short squeezing. So, it looks like I'm going to end up getting into longs. If it comes down, though, depending on how it comes down, I'm probably going to enter ES shorts. ES is a lot weaker. Unless NQ... okay, I'm going to move this straight to the side. What are we looking at for this trade? You know, I could enter here. PT here. This is a good PT here, but PT here, and then I'll move my stop pretty close to break even and break even if it makes this low. That's the game plan. If we keep going up though, guys, I'm gonna have to enter longs. I don't really want to. Because this candle went a bit too high. I'm starting to think it may happen. Which sucks because that means I'm just gonna keep stopping out of trades, but see, but this is a perfect trend line too. Oh my gosh. But am I not going to? Am I really just going to sit out of longs there though? Because I'm pretty confirmed in. That's a bullish candle, very bullish. Very bullish. ES flipping strong. My entry's right above the 61.8, so it could still reject the 61.8. And that's another perfect trend line on NQ here, the bottom of this, what used to be rising wedge. We confirmed into longs, but the problem is those trend lines indicate that, usually you see those trend lines break. And if that trend lines breaks, that means I'm going to have a big loss, another big loss. It's going to trigger me into longs, guys. It's as tight as I can put my stop. I can't put my stop loss any tighter than that. I'm one solid green candle away from hopping into longs. This is the 61.8 here. If I get into longs and it doesn't work though, that's gonna be a pretty good journal entry because I have valid reason to not get into longs. In this case, the PT's so far away that I could trade more subjectively and not allow myself to be triggered in, even though I'm supposed to. Um, so this is gonna be a good journal entry here. Gotta wait for this candle to close, but yeah, that's my long entry right there. It did just touch that area. Gotta wait for the last 10 seconds of this candle. Kind of sucks to have to wait for the last 10 seconds because the candle just so happens to be freaking massive. Really. It's a 15-point candle right there. Gotta enter on this candle. God damn it. Or do I wait for a potential pullback? I think I'm gonna wait for a potential pullback, guys. I don't wanna. I just don't want to. Alright, my psych would take a beating if I enter all the way up here and it just pulls back. So you can enter here if you want to. I'm confirmed in. I am choosing not to get in though. I'm not. I already didn't really want to get in with those trend lines down there. But now I want to get in because that's a perfect trend line on top. So pull back for me. You can do it, bud. If it doesn't, I don't really care. If I lose this trade, though, it's going to be a big red day. So that also helps me not get in. It's a good area for a pullback, though. You guys see that potential inverse head and shoulders. So that's what I'm going to wait for, Let me document this real quick. Who's calling me? Give me 1 second. All right. Starting to potentially dip. It's bullish, guys. You know, I could buy any of this dip. I can enter right now. I don't know how low it's going to go. The thing is, ES hasn't even started dipping yet. NQ has. NQ flipped weaker than ES by a good amount. Um, yeah, you guys can do whatever. You know, if this candle closes green, it's going to be bullish consolidation. It's going to look pretty good. It's a tough situation, guys. This is pretty tough because the stop loss is so far, the PT is so far, and we've been stuck in this range. It's if everything's not perfect, I don't really want to get in. Anyone else starting eyeball shorts now? That's still too soon for that. Now ES is starting to dip. So I could enter here longs and dip buy because I was supposed to enter there originally, but NQ is looking a lot weaker. And if ES even puts in a half decent inverse head and shoulders, it's going to drop to here. And by then, I'm going to be thinking it's going to break to the downside. Tough decisions, guys. I don't know. And this is kind of a perfect trend line on ES too, though. And that's a reason to dip buy it. The lower it goes, the better. This is very subjective trading right now because if I was supposed to enter technically as far as my strategy goes, I'm supposed to enter on that big green candle, but my subjectiveness just overrode that. I can't do that. Good. I just avoided a big loss. So I am very much so considering shorts. That's a pretty freaking bearish drop. And that's a bearish trend line as well. And this would be a nice entry candle. And I could have a big risk to reward on it. I think I will do that. Yeah. Bad average, but I don't care. I'll give it a chance. Did not like that average. It was supposed to enter at the bottom of this candle, but whatever. That's a potential reversal candle. That's a much better average to enter shorts at. But I could have just got, this would be like the greatest bait ever. I'm actually pretty jealous of that average. I really didn't want this bad average. Oh my gosh, it's bearish. So the plan is still the same. When we sweep this low here, because these are the lows. This is the low that we really could realistically get to 330. That's just way too far away for me to put a PT at. This is the low that's the biggest threat, 364. So that's the first PT. You could sell there. I hope it gets there. This buying wick is indicating otherwise because ES just made a lower low with a buying wick. But ES kind of has a double bottom here. It's not a big deal because the bottoms are next to each other. So it's not actually a big deal. But anyways, what I'm thinking is I'm going to move my stop loss way up. I'm going to move it to here if we get to that first low. And then I could move it to the bottom one. I don't know. It just kind of depends. Another thing though is it's possible is we could sweep this low bounce, put in a head and shoulders, stop me out, and then go back down. That doesn't look like a head and shoulders to me though. So looks like NQ is flipping stronger than ES. Whatever happened to him? He's still trading. Swaggy, he's with Morgan Stanley, I think still. I haven't talked to him in a while. Obviously, this trend line's pretty big support, but it's still a perfect trend line at the bottom. I told you guys, perfect. Like that trend line was too perfect. That's why I was like so hesitant to get into longs and dodged a freaking bullet there because you know what? If this trade stops out, I'll move this down just a little bit. Actually, does it move down on my other account if I move this down? No, it does not. That's what I thought. So I got to cancel it. We're down a little bit. That's enough. That's another bullish reversal candle on NQ that's trying to put in. Very likely to bounce out of that. That's a third buying wick coming from a lower low. It's opening this candle bullish as well. Looks good to bounce back to at least break even, but oh wow, just invalidated. Let's see if it makes another buying wick. And I mean, you could sell at this PT. I mean, it's still good. It's valid. You know, it's a decent win. Pretty much a 1-to-1 risk to reward now, or it will be if it gets to this low. Um, too close to me with the way that dropped. I'm looking for this one. This is big liquidity here. And you know, I could move it to break even instead of moving my stop to just below the high of this red candle, but then it's just a little too close to stop me out. Or it's still a little too close to sweep me, I mean. But this is where I'm thinking about moving it, roughly here. And that's going to be a very small loss. That does happen. Yet another buying wick on NQ. ES just made the low, NQ did not. That is not good. Because now NQ could bounce without making that low. But I don't think it's going to bounce very far if it does. I actually think it will be a fairly good thing if it bounces. Or better than not if it comes back down. Because if it bounces now, which it's likely to do, and you guys can see that it is, and we do end up... This, I mean, we can easily... I'm thinking we bounce somewhere up to here. If we come all the way up here, then come back down, it's very, very, very likely we continue through this. But if we just continue just kind of chopping down and barely get to this level and start bouncing again, it's going to be looking like it's going to be very easy to short squeeze to my stop loss. But that is a bullish sweep on ES. Let's see if it holds. I hope it does not. And this trend line here is perfect. Guys, the potential for this, I really want this to work because if NQ can get to where I want it to go and we can sweep and then bounce, I still have this very nice trend line up here. Oh, it's going to look so good for... I'm willing to risk a risky reversal trade here. And that trade could very well run 1 to 200 points to the upside on NQ. It missed it. Perfect double bottom. I don't have time to pull up the NQ chart. I'm supposed to have the NQ chart up as well on my other screen, but I don't have it. Wait. No. I messed up. Okay, I'm not doing that. All right, moving the stop up. All right, fingers crossed, I guess. Good trade though. Like good trade. We avoided bad things. Here's the thing though, you know, it just kind of chopped down to that level. I wouldn't be surprised if we sweep and bounce. It's almost a free trade though. If we get to here, I can move my stop up to break even. I pretty much only move my stop when it hurts the probability of the trade none. And keep in mind, you could go for this PT down here too, this 300 PT. I don't know what that translates to on NQ, but this low looks very good as well. That's just a bit too far. Yeah, I'm going to move my stop to break even now. If it goes to break even, it dropped enough below the pivot to where if it goes all the way to break even, it swept plenty enough liquidity to continue to where my stop was. Of course, it would very much so suck if it did, but that is a solid reversal setup there that it's trying to put in. If that selling wick invalidates, that's a bullish piercing line on a pivot on ES and just a normal reversal candle on NQ. Let's see if the selling wick holds though. And again, you can take it if you want. It's a free trade now. If this does stop at a break even, I'm going to take note of that because we've been having a lot of trades lately where pretty much every time I move my stop up to break even over the last, if it's already a certain distance away, like it already reached 150 ticks, which is above my average green trade, I may just stop doing it and just cut it. It's a bullish candle open there. Looks like the bounce is going to continue. Eski, I saw your message, but I couldn't really read it because I was busy. He says, "Isn't this trading in premiums in the middle of a flag?" Not gonna lie, I don't understand what that means. I assume you're asking if it's just trading while it's chopping in a flag, which is a bad thing, but I'm not sure. Probably something that I should start doing. Yes, you should, Daniel. Journaling is a very difficult thing to start because no one wants to do it. You can ask anyone in my server. Not a single person who started journaling, even if it's for a week, uh, stopped because it's not great. They stop out of laziness or whatever it is. Every single person will say journaling has radically improved their trading. It keeps trying to go down, guys, but honestly, it's set up to bounce. It is so set up to bounce and bounce hard. I hope it doesn't, but you see how shorts keep pushing it back down? I mean, look at the buying wicks and look at the selling wicks. This is a huge red flag for a potential short squeeze because if if that candle were to close green, I'm thinking we're going to squeeze to the upside. Luckily it didn't, so it still has a chance. You know, it's setting if it does get to my PT, that's a good reversal trade. But look, like this candle's super bullish. Like you see how shorts keep getting in and pressing it down? Well, where is it pressing it down chart-wise? It's on this pivot, on a major area of support. Like your desk is support. When I take a spring and press the spring against my desk, it compresses. And then the second I let go, it shoots up. Price action pretty much does the same thing. And, you know, if you keep getting shorts and candles invalidating, like this candle is just a bright green candle and invalidated. Well, if the invalidation invalidates, so you get a large green candle covering up every single drop, that's like me releasing my hand because now shorts are going to start closing. Oh boy, there's a lower low on NQ again. This looks like it wants to bounce so hard, guys. This is such a bullish reversal setup. But I want my PT though. So, ride or die for my PT. And my PT is actually supposed to be one tick lower. Um, supposed to be at 340.25, not 340.50, but I guess I'll change that now. Gosh, this chopping down, guys. I'm like squinting. You know when you cut wood and you're not wearing glasses like you're supposed to, like the safety squint? That's what I'm doing. Oh my gosh, it just invalidated again. I mean, this could get to this one all the way down here. I mean, this is a very big pattern to break to the downside. Normally, I'd be like, okay, well, this can continue down. You know, this is the width. We can drop quite a ways, but the problem for me is we have the gap overhead. Like my bearish bias my bearish bias only came from these perfect trend lines, as you guys know. But overall, I'm still very bullish for the gap overhead. Plus, these trend lines, they're not perfect, but they're really nice on top here. That's such a bullish candle. This is scary here. I'm not willing to put my PT far away. That's very bullish. See, it's like, you see how it keeps just flashing upwards? Compressed spring right here. Looks like it wants to shoot to the upside. So if you're not willing to stop at break even, you should probably just sell. That is so bullish, man. Really hoping for like a miracle that invalidates, because this is what I look for in a reversal setup right here. This is it. They keep compressing and compressing, and then we finally printed a solid green candle without any major selling wick. Honestly, if this green candle invalidates with momentum, you could extend your PT. So surprising if this green... it's not like I'm not expecting it to. I think it actually has an okay chance to invalidate under these circumstances, but just these last 15 candles, so bullish usually. Like, this is a bullish reversal setup. But if we do fully invalidate this green candle, I'm going to be thinking it's going to get to here. If it gets to here, it's probably going to get to here. But again, I'm not extending my heart would shatter in a million pieces if I extended my PT and it hit this one and not the second one. Look at all these lower highs, though. This is so set up to just squeeze to the upside. I can't really draw a perfect trend line, but this is so set up to bounce. Look, another red candle printed, and immediately it's covered up by a green one. Oh, it looks so good. I can't delete this. There we go. If this candle closes without a selling wick, that may be it. That may be the bottom. Because NQ flipped a lot stronger than ES is. We're not that much stronger. A decent bit, though. That red candle was a lot smaller. It closed the candle pretty decently. So I don't know. Did this make a higher high? It did make a higher high. Moving your PT down to this level now would not drop the probability a lot. Because that's a bear pennant now. It's trying to be. I'm not going to extend it, though. Still hurts the probability a little bit too much. Still a little too much. Yeah, it looks like ES is a little bit more reactive to the downside. ES is definitely a little bit weaker. Hello, Alone. Scope asked, is it just me or does the audio keep coming and going? Type in chat, is my audio fine? Audio's fine. Sweet. Eski says, to rephrase my question, why do you wait until it passed the middle after a perfectly bounced on a trend line? Isn't 4 bearish candles enough after such a perfect bounce? Um, so are you talking about on this short trade, Eski? You were talking about me waiting for it to cross the middle instead of entering short closer because it just rejected the trend line? Type in chat, is that what you just asked? Correct? Okay. Because it's against my bias. We didn't have any liquidity swept. Entering here, when you see this setup, Eski, if I were to enter on this candle where I'm circling, I have a higher chance making money if I go long on that candle than going short by a solid margin as well. NQ is still too strong, guys. I'm like bracing. It can stop me out of break even at any point, which is going to be sad, but it is what it is. Yeah, you have a higher chance at making money going long because look at the setup. That's a nice trend line. You have a gap overhead, and you have a potential inverse head and shoulders. Nothing about that was confirmed bearish. A trend line rejection is not bear. For example, when this bounced here, once it got to here, I'm like, oh, this is a perfect trend line. That's bearish. Because perfect trend lines usually don't hold up. This isn't a perfect trend line, but if you look, you can see a potential inverse head and shoulders. You see the gap overhead. You take it into account with the overall trend. It's bullish. You have way higher chance making. And I almost did. I was so close to dip buying longs. But I decided to wait, and praise God that I did. Yeah, guys, NQ is looking a lot stronger than ES. That's a problem. ES is going to need... Yeah, if this is going to CPT, ES is going to have to drop to here, but I have a hard time believing ES is going to drop to here without NQ getting to break even first. It got close, though. How close did it get? It got so close. There's break even. Short squeeze ended up happening. That got so close, man. Keeps happening. These sessions keeps happening. I might, just statistically speaking now, whenever I move my stop to break even, I'm statistically better off just selling it, even though it hasn't gotten to a PT yet. Now, if it sweeps my break even stop, that's going to be very sad. Very sad. We go right back down. It is going to be a very, very sad day. It's funny, it happened right as I said it can hit break even at any moment, and then just immediately just squeezed. Yeah, the more times you test a trend line or support or resistance Eski, the more likely it is to break. This is bullish though. Looks good for a bounce. I will be entering long roughly here. When pretty much that big red candle invalidates, I will be taking long. And I'm just going to take it as far as it wants to go. I mean, we have a gap overhead. I could sell at this high. But I mean, we'll have to see. Because this is still a bull flag, which is bullish. Yeah, that's a good entry. If we come back down, you could take short. Depends on how it comes down. If it does come down really nice, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a short roughly here. And taking it to here. I wouldn't be opposed to that idea. Yeah, Jovan, it's unfortunate, dude. I wanted this low so bad. There was so much liquidity here. So much. But I told you guys on the drop, this was a reversal trade. Like this is where I enter longs. So pretty painful. And the last few break evens actually, um, I need to see. Pretty much all the break evens were good. Like, for example, if I didn't have my stop break even, I would have stopped out there. Would have been a loss. But statistically speaking, once I do move my stop to break even, I'm statistically more likely to make money if I just sell right there. This could be an early long entry here. Not taking it. If it hit my PT, gosh, guys, I really wanted it to work because if this swept my PT, not only would I have sold for a huge profit, but I would have entered long here. And that would have been so nice, but I cannot catch a break. That's bullish candlesticks on NQ. You could enter on this candle if you really want, based on the last one. I'm gonna wait for it to get all the way to my entry. Being picky with this one saved me from a large loss and exposed me to the opportunity of getting a big win here. So I'm gonna do the same. But that's why this last candlestick was bullish. This is why. Or this is the expected result of that. Still not quite there though. It just hit the 61.8. So this is like its only major fib resistance that it's going to experience before it gets to this high. And nope, I'm confirmed in. I got 10 more seconds and I have to get in. Really, both candles I'm supposed to get in end up being huge, except this one happens to not be way above my entry. It's getting a selling wick. I'm holding off just for a second. If this next candle opens green, I'm in. I took it. It opened green. Oh, what the hell? What a scam and a half. It opened. What a fucking scam. God damn it. It opened green. I waited. So unlucky, man. So unlucky. What a terrible day. Well, if we go back up, I'm back in. I tried waiting. I tried waiting. It's so hard to wait. Literally the very I almost avoided that loss. Almost avoided it. Good stop loss though, even though it was a freaking market sell. Yeah, I'm not getting anything today, guys. This a red day to cover up my green day on Friday. Well, I'm about to be back in longs, so this is fun, and it's gonna have to be ES because ES is stronger. But NQ missed my pivot. Time to go to the Twitter news channel. What's going on? I'm about to just start scalping, and I really don't want to. I'm about to just. I think honestly, entering shorts aim. It barely missed my pivot down here. Don't think entering shorts is bad, guys. I don't think it is. I do not think entering shorts is bad. I kind of want to do it. I'd take it small. I took it a small gamble. Right. If it go, I'm willing to lose. It's very risky. If you're not willing to lose, don't take it. News is bearish though. Trump says nobody is out of tariffs. Ah, man, it's not so much painful that the painful part of that last one is I almost avoided it. I was so close. Like the second I entered, the dump happened. Like any minor hesitation, hell if I blinked one more time before I entered, it would have been completely avoided. Would have been completely avoided. That's what's so annoying is I was so close to dodging that bullet. That would have been so cool. That big buying wick might have just screwed this trade. That was a nice buying wick there. Yeah, that buying wick's bullish. As I don't know if I can go longs now. The market's screwed up. Because if I pretty much win at this point, I stop out of this trade. Um, yeah, I mean it's a pretty bullish chart, but it's like I feel like this just kind of screwed up now, you know. The market doesn't react well to tariffs, and the news was fundamentally bearish, which I feel like is enough to kind of ruin the. Is it really going to go all the way up and fill the gap after that? I don't know. It did just hit break even. You could just dump it there if you want. I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna let it do its thing. I don't really care. It did end up stopping out. You know, I may take the one last trade because I mean I'm confirmed in longs. This may just be my last trade and that's kind of it. But it really bugs me that it missed that PT. It missing that short PT really bugs me. I would rather re-enter shorts than have to enter longs. Well, I've now given back the gains from Friday. Not a single green trade today. I mean, I had one, but it ended up hitting my break-even stop. But it's kind of expected when the market just chops like this. If it goes all the way back down, I'm hopping back into shorts one more time. And I may have just had my stop perfectly swept. I did just have it perfectly swept. All right, well, probably my last trade here. And realistically, my PT's gonna have to be here. That's a I wouldn't. That's a pretty bullish candle there. I don't know if the market knows what it wants to do at the moment. I don't know. That last candle was kind of bullish on INQ. That sucks that my stop loss barely. Wait, what was my sell? My stop loss barely swept on that last short. Like just barely. Let me see. What was my 409.50? What did it get to? And it wasn't that barely. Still kind of. My stop loss was right here last time. I could have put it a little bit more up, but I figured if it, invalidates this much, it's probably going to break to the upside, and it did not. It's another big buying wick with lower lows. That's a pretty bullish buying wick. I would not blame you if you're in this short. Selling at break even's not a terrible idea after this candle. Trump says he had a good talk with Trudeau. He says we're not treated well by Canada. We do not need Canadian cars, lumber, or agriculture. Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty bullish candle close. It had a nice selling wick there for a second. It just looks like it's chopping. It's not. It looks like it's not going anywhere. Trump says China tariffs were an opening salvo. China tariffs will go up if we can't make a deal. Guys, with Trump's talking, I'm not going to be able to make any. I'm not going to be able to make anything happen. It's just chopping in this range. I don't even know if it's going to be able to break to the upside. I'm bearish for it to get to this low. I did give it one more chance. Right now I'm red by a day and a half of profits, which is actually a pretty sizable red day. But that's my sixth trade, so I can't take any more trades. It may break to the upside, but with Trump talking, it kind of ruined everything I had going on. What did this do? It's about 24.10. Stop loss was way closer than that. That looks actually pretty decent to go up. Man, nothing this session. Just a session of chopping. And I thought, after it spent, how long did it spend chopping? From 8:40 all the way to 9:50. After an hour chopping, we should have gone somewhere. But no, we just chopped for another hour and some change. We just finished documenting this. All right, well, that's it for me. Nothing today. Absolutely nothing. Worst day since, well, I've only had two sizable red days this year, and the last one was like January 10th or something. But I told you guys at the beginning, if it just chops, I'm not going to be able to. I'm not able to make any money during this price action. Looks pretty decent to break now. Nah, I'm not going to trade it though. I do not need to go over my trade limit. Let me see what this gap is. Yeah, it looks like it can break, but Trump freaking. Usually Trump makes me money, but there he screwed me. Definitely screwed me. That long was looking pretty good. So was the short too. The shorts are pretty good too. Wait a minute, did this sweep on NQ? No shot. Okay, barely missed it on NQ. It's very hard for me to be bullish when this level exists. I will say that. How is this market moving compared to 2016, Trump? I don't know, because in 2016 I was a freshman in high school. Only been trading for 5 years. But all right, I will see you guys later. Unfortunately, got a red day, but we did never stop chopping. So, you know, it is what it is. It just kind of happens sometimes. But I will see you people later. Oh, I actually just. All right, there we go. All right. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. Good luck if you continue to trade. I'm realistically, I'm gonna switch to. I think I have like one extra evaluation account. Realistically, I'm probably gonna switch that evaluation account and do some scalping, see if I can pass it. Because this looks like very good scalpy price action with the way it's chopping right now. But as far as which way it would break, obviously this is a bull flag. It's bullish. It's hard for me to retain bullishness while this level is intact. Anytime it dips to here, I'm bearish for that level to break. So keep that in mind. Yeah, but I don't know which way we're gonna go. We'll see after Trump's done talking. But all right, options was fantastic. Futures was the opposite today. But hopefully tomorrow's futures is way better. Hopefully we can have both be fantastic. All right, good luck if you continue trading. I will see you guys later for a trade review. And then I think that's it actually. Yeah, trade review. And I got some stuff I got to post to the YouTube. But all right, I'll see you guys later.